How to start real estate crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is literally one of the newest, best, and downright easiest ways to invest in real estate. It's the newest way. People don't know how to do it, but I'm going to tell you about this powerful game changer so that you can do the exact same thing too. Let's go. I'm going to share with you a detailed step-by-step process on how to get your own real estate crowdfunding. I'm going to share with you some insider tips on how to get your real estate crowdfunding going faster than other people's, where it doesn't take months, it only will take you a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to give you my quick blueprint on how I did it so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did when I did mine. So one of the major things that you want to do when it comes to real estate investing is know what your goals are. So when we're talking about investing in real estate, there's several different things and several different ways to make money. One of it is going to be by amassing rental properties, putting tenants in those properties, and then making monthly income on those properties. Or if you do short-term rentals, getting the properties rented and getting short-term rental income. Another thing that you want to do with real estate investing that is super important is you want to buy properties that are increasing in value. Again, pick properties that are in appreciating areas where the values are going up. You can buy those properties and then sell them in a few years for more money than what you paid for them. And then last but not least, you want to be able to buy properties at below market value and force appreciation, okay? That's where we go ahead and we do fix and flips. This is called forced appreciation. That's where you go into a property that needs renovations or needs a rehab. You add value by putting in new countertops, new paint, new flooring, or whatever it is that you do to add value to the property, and then sell the property for more money either immediately or in the next few years. But when it comes to real estate investing, whether we're talking about residential real estate or we're talking about commercial real estate, the goals are still the same. But you need to decide, what is your goal going to be with your real estate crowdfund? Are you going to try to amass properties for rentals and then share the profits with your investors? Are you going to do some fix and flips and then sell them for a profit and then split the profits with your investors? Again, what is it that you want to do with real estate and how are you trying to make money? These are some of the things that you want to think about and decide, because there are so many different ways to make money in real estate. So let's kind of get into that. So how I got started with real estate crowdfunding is I really basically started a few years ago, but on a much smaller scale. So as you guys know, I started off investing in real estate in 2002, 2003. I was a complete disaster. I basically lost everything in 2009 when the crash happened, and I ended up bankrupt, in foreclosure, and in my parents' basement. Well, that's where the story starts to get interesting, because I got a coach, I started learning what I was doing, and then I got into wholesaling and then fixing and flipping, and eventually I amassed enough rental properties where I could quit my job. It was awesome. So then once I quit my job, I found that I had a lot more time. So I started coaching and helping other people do real estate investing. And one day I came across one of my students. At the time, he was 18 years old. And he started telling me about Airbnbs. He was saying that he could make me way more money than I was making on my rental properties. All we needed to do was rent a few properties, furnish them, put towels and, forks and stuff like that. We didn't have to own the properties. We really could just rent some apartments and get this done with the permission of the landlords. So I was kind of skeptical at first, and I really didn't think this was gonna make much money, but I was super wrong, okay? Super wrong. This 18-year-old kid really schooled me. We had about 5 properties, and I was making like $1,000 to $1,500 on each property at the time, okay? And I was only making like $300 on each of my rental properties the old way. So this opened my mind up to how much more profitable it was to do Airbnb versus to do long-term tenants. So let's fast forward to my new company and the crowdfund that I created. So when I started with this 18-year-old, we did a joint venture. I basically loaned him like $6,000 or $8,000 for him to get those 5 units. He used the money to fix the properties and put the furniture in them, get bedding and stuff like that, and pay the rent. And then we started making money really quickly, okay? So basically after the first month, he had the property booked up and we were making a profit after month 2, okay? So it was incredible how quickly we started making money. So then I had all these other students that wanted to do the same thing, and they all wanted to do all these joint ventures. So it actually got really, really complicated with me trying to do joint ventures with all of these different people. So along comes crowdfunding, where I'm able to pool all of my students together, all of my people, all of the people that want to invest in real estate. Everybody pool their money together and then we all buy property and we split the profits. This was a game changer, guys, okay? So we've been able to raise well over $200,000 in just a couple of months. We'll actually have $1 million before this is all done. We expect to have that before the end of this year. You can check it out yourself at newrez.com. Again, that's NUUREZ.com. You can check the company out. You can check out the crowdfunding. You can see what we're doing. But the amazing thing about this was I didn't have to do joint ventures with one person at a time. Again, we all could joint venture. We could all put our money into a pool. I could use my expertise, all of my years of experience. I could pick out the best properties, the ones that were the most profitable, that I knew would make the most money, instead of my students trying to find this all on their own, and then we could all just split the profits. So this was the game changer for me. This is what got me into crowdfunding, and this has opened up the door for a lot more of my students and people that wouldn't normally be able to invest and start making money in real estate. So let me tell you how you can do it. So the first thing that you want to do when you are getting your own crowdfund is what I said earlier. You have to decide what it is that you're going to be doing in real estate. So because I knew that short-term rentals were so much more profitable than long-term rentals, that's the first thing that I decided to do with my crowdfund. Because I knew I could make so much profits, I knew there was so much profits to split. It was very easy to split my profits with my investors because we were making so much money on one unit. So if I figured if we could make $1,000 and $2,000 off one unit, imagine if we could get hundreds. Okay? And so this is the power of crowdfunds, and this is the power of real estate investing. But before you could ever get to the point where you were able to get people to invest in your crowdfund or have a crowdfund altogether, you got to decide what it is that you're going to do with the money and how your investors are going to be paid. So with our company, again, NewRez, NUUREZ.com, and you can check it out. You can look us up on newrez.com, or you can go to the crowdfund website, which is TrueCrowd, TrueCrowd, and you can check us out there. It has all of the information, all of the memorandum, all of the stuff we submitted to the Security and Exchange Commission, you know, the SEC. And because this is all legal and all ethical, and there's an oversight committee, this is all protecting both me and you as an investor. And so this is the protection and the confidence that you can offer your investors. You literally can go to TrueCrowd yourself and you can get your own crowdfund. Again, you can check out mine, see what we're doing. If you want, you can invest as little as $500 and really get a full picture of what we're doing and get money in the process. Or you could just go to TrueCrowd.com and start the process to get your own. This, again, is very simple to do, it's very inexpensive, and this is the new powerful way for all of us to come together and make a lot of money in real estate without as much risk. So hopefully this video was very helpful for you on how to start a real estate crowdfunding business. Again, it's a very simple process. It really just starts off with your business plan, what it is that you're going to be doing in real estate, how you plan on spending the money, and then how your investors are going to get paid. You go to TrueCrowd, TrueCrowd.com. That is the crowdfunding platform that I use and where my crowdfund is. But there's other websites available. You can go to Start Engine, or you could go to GoFundMe, or you could even Google it and see what other companies are out there. I've had great success with TrueCrowd. We've raised tons of money. Our investors are happy. I'm happy. So I endorse this site, not being paid for it or anything like that, but it's a great thing to do. So I encourage you to go ahead and check us out at TrueCrowd, TrueCrowd.com. or NewRez, NUUREZ.com. Invest or see exactly what we're doing and copy it. Either way, I want you to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success.